This is the Simpit. I'm your host, Shaun Cole, and welcome to today's edition of the Pitstop, the Friday edition, TGIF, everybody. I've already seen a bunch of people typing in TGIF. I think with the new year happening, people are a little tired and need those weekends a little extra, a little more right now. So welcome to the show, everybody. Happy Friday, everybody, and I hope you have a good weekend plan. I sure do. Before we get to the news, on Wednesday, I got a little... So the first show of the year was Monday, and it was one of the longest pit stops ever. Then on Wednesday, we didn't even have that much to talk about, but I was very blabby, very chatty on Wednesday, and so were you guys, by the way, which is awesome. So I'm hoping to keep things just a little slowed down. I think I've been a little too buttoned up with the pit stop, like I'm wearing Tom Brokaw and, reporting the news. And that's not really why we're here. Yes, we cover the news. That is our agenda. We have some news topics, things in sim racing we should know about to talk about. But the main thing is here to be talking about sim racing. And there are a lot of things going on in sim racing right now, depending on what your flavor is. I mean, if you think about it, and I guess with it being a new decade, looking back on the previous decade from 2010 to 2019, we made some huge changes to the point where it used to be, what is the best sim this year? When they used to do what's the best sim of the year, it was a big deal because we'd have such huge leaps between sims for a while that when the new came, you'd go to it because it was just the best across the board. And now, we have 3-4 good quality sims to choose from. And so, again, it's sort of a different era of sim racing in general. And anyway, there is a lot going on. And then when you multiply that by eSport, when you multiply that by the high-tech boom of products out there, it's just really, really an interesting time. It's a great time to be a sim racer, that's for sure. So, speaking of that, with that said, moving on our Friday agenda, another thing, I'm gonna tease a couple of things real quick before we even get the show started. Number one, and I'm gonna mention this at the end of the show as well, we do have the Simp It De Lara F3 series starting Sunday. We are talking about Road America, Road Atlanta, Circuit de Spa, Phillip Island, Interlagos, Brands Hatch, Silverstone, and Watkins Glen. 8 races over the next 8 weeks. We are following the exact schedule as iRacing. So we are racing Road America this Sunday. Right now, all of the F3 series for iRacing are running Road America. So you'll have practice rooms, race rooms, everything. It coincides. The only difference, we're running 50% longer races. So if you would like to join that series, please head over to iRacing, go to the league section and search for Simp It De Lara F3 Road Racing Series and send an application in there, join. And we have about 20 people ready to go. I'd love to see us over 30, maybe even 40 drivers would be super awesome. Love to have to start a second room and have qualifying even. That would be awesome. So please join us for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. Starts up Sunday. I am going to mention it again at the end of the show. The other thing I want to talk about today is that... I'm thinking Friday night. I don't really have plans tonight. I have to drive my brother to the valley at 9:30. So I have a big chunk of time from when I typically tune out of work and when I make dinner. And I would like to do some racing. So my question to you guys is, if I hosted a spontaneous Friday night, I mean, in my mind, I'd love to do something in the dirt again. We had a lot of fun in those outlaw sprint cars at Volusia. Should we do something like that again? Should we try the dirt late model on a dirt track? Should we go back to the trucks rally, or should we do something just totally traditional? I'd love to do some racing tonight with you guys, with the pit crew and all you people here. But I just need to know that others would join. I hate when I set something up, get it going, and we only have like 5 of us show up. But anyway, if you guys have suggestions for Friday night fun, I think we should do something tonight. Maybe kick it off at about 5 or 5:30. Race time of 6 o'clock, that all being Pacific Standard Time. And again, I thought that in the dirt would be pretty badass or fun. Anyway, you give that some thought. Chime in if you have it. Maybe at the end of the show, I will. Yeah, I was thinking dirt trucks. I was thinking maybe going to the Pro 2 Lite just because it's free. But yeah, that was another thought I had, Rip. All right, so what is going on in sim racing? Oh, more than that. All right, more selfish news. I love being selfish sometimes. We posted a video today, we being the Simpit, me, sim racing rev bar, RPM gauge, under $20 DIY project. Those of you who are big fans of the show, those of you who tune in, especially on Twitch, you've seen what's gone on with this DIY project. So I want to thank Jesse Conroy, one of the loyal patron pit crew team members, who suggested to me to do this project, showed me what to do, where to get it, and got me going on it. And it's actually kind of kicked off the beginning of a bunch of DIY projects. So I'm going to continue to do more of these. But in this, I took just a simple LED strip. I wired it to an Arduino board, and I run it with SimHub. And for 20 bucks, it was actually like 16 bucks, I have a rev light bar that lights up with my game with indicators on the outside is the way I program it. So like yellow flags and all those kind of things. When I am on the pit limiter, it all flashes. I've got rev limiter, so when I hit the rev limiter, it flashes. All sorts of cool stuff in this little $16 project, which I highly suggest. If you have a soldering iron, you could do this project. It is a no-brainer. Now, with that said, like I said, fans of the show would have watched me take 2 hours to fail to then get it right later. Another version, which was even on YouTube, which was like an hour and a half, which finally it did work, but it was still an hour and a half. In reality, if you have the tools, if you know what you're doing, it can be done in under 10 minutes. No BS. It's that easy. Lionheart. Lionheart, hold on one second. Let me see if I can. All right, we're going to bring you new news. Tinker CAD. Bear with me. So here's what I did. Now, I have a buddy who is working on one as well. Hey, wait. Oh, I'm not logged in. Hold on. How do I log in? There we go. So if you see this right here, this just in at the Simpit, very important news, and it is totally related to that DIY project. That is my first drawing. That's my first ever CAD drawing that I made last night. And if you look, this is a little housing for my LED strip. And I have a 3D printer that will be here on Monday. And I'm going to print this little bad boy out and see what it looks like. Hopefully it comes out like this and doesn't look like that Spider-Man costume of black overtaking him. You know that? That's what a bad 3D print looks like. Anyway, George Lionheart, I want to thank you for the Christmas card that you sent me. Better late than never. I want to thank you very much for that. And I would like to talk to you. Hopefully you have room for us, and I'd like to continue on with Lionheart for 2020. I don't know if that was obvious or if you need us, but maybe we can even kick things up. I'm so proud of the way you guys run your series and everything you do there. So we should talk to you later. Anyway, so part 2 of that DIY project will be watching my 3D printer print this sucker, and hopefully it is a success. And then incorporating that into this rev light. And in case you haven't watched the video yet, I'll give you a little teaser. Oh, look at that. Look at that. You can totally change the colors too, by the way, and brightness and all that kind of stuff. Heiko, yeah, okay, so this is version 1 in that drawing. Version 2 would be where I actually incorporate the Arduino. So this is just going to double stick to my monitors right where it is right now. So I'm going to take that one off my monitor. I'm going to stick it into this, and then I'm still just going to hide the Arduino in the back for now. My second version would be one that houses the Arduino as well. But to be honest with you, hey, here's my real plan. Bear with me, I got to get up. So this one here is version 2. And version 2 is going to be given away to a buddy of mine. Version 2 is the one where it's the same length as the one on mine. It's 37 lights long. I put this little cheesy plastic housing that an engineer friend of mine literally laughed at me. It was like, dude, that's disgraceful. You can't put that on there. And then even more disgraceful is this Breath Savers plastic case with black duct tape all over it, which is kind of coming up. But this is at least my enclosed version, but it's not a very good enclosure. And I've got the USB mini to USB on there. So this is version 2. The first version is raw. It's on my monitor. That one's going to go into the encasing. Gosh, is this news, or have we gone too far now, you guys? Happy Friday! Happy Friday, everybody. So my new plan is to give this one away. And then I'm going to take that one up there and put it in the 3D housing. And then I'm going to give that one away to somebody on the show. We'll do a giveaway. Then my final version. Are you ready for this? Dun, 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 dun. Okay. You know, I can connect. There's little plastic things on the back. I mean, little copper tabs on the back of this thing. And I can actually tap wires into that, which means I should actually, I'm going to segment it here. So on that one, I made it so there's 5 lights for flags, 1 blank, and then my rev bar. Well, I'm going to cut it right there and then rejoin it with wire. And I'm going to relocate my flags to somewhere different than my LED strip, my rev strip. And I'm going to make a little housing for each of those. I ordered, Paul Stoker, good question. I ordered an Ender 5 Plus, which is a 350 by 350 by 400 print capacity. So that's 13 inches or so. That fixture there is about 11 inches long, but it's only about, it's like, that's the shape right there. All right, is that still news, or have I bored the heck out of you guys? But that's what we have going on. That is what we're going to do. What are we going to do after that? I want to do a wind sim, and I need to be able to 3D print the ducts that will direct the air where I want them to go. That'll be another project. So we're going to use that 3D printer a lot on the show. And like I'm promising you guys, we're going to call 2020 the year of the DIY here at the Simpit. I think that's the main thing that I really would like to do moving forward. And still do review and driving and all the other stuff. But I want to put a lot more focus on projects like this, DIY rigs. I have a couple of challenges that we'll take on in the world of rig building. I want to show you guys how to make a pour foam seat, a form-fitting seat. So yes, junkyard seats are awesome, but actually junkyard seats in America, at least in California especially, Tom, you threw me off with that, an expensive option. Another option is to build a box to hold a shape of a seat and then use foam, and you actually sit into the foam and it forms around your body. This is what Formula One drivers do to an extent. Well, lower level open wheel cars, things like that. So I hope no one steals my idea. Now I need to do that immediately. A more detailed TSPC setup show, John. Okay. I could probably do a lot of that, taking that concept across the board for wheels, and also in sim, perhaps. I'm into that. I think that's where we need to really start focusing the Simpit. We could have a whole conversation, by the way. I guess that we could turn this into a Beyond the Sim. The landscape for reviewing has changed a lot. And I'm not using it in a negative capacity, but I'll just use Fanatic as an example. But Fanatic hires an in-house media person. iRacing has hired an in-house media person. Almost everybody out there, game, hardware, have hired an in-house media person, which really diminishes the need for the review process. Also, people don't seem to watch reviews like they used to. The other thing, and I'm going to say this is a great thing. Everything that's coming out, for the most part, is pretty good. I can't remember the last time I got something that was truly a piece of junk, hardware or software. So I think that DIY, how-tos, how to be better, how to be faster, how to get more out of your components, like you said, are really the right direction for this show, in my opinion. So please chime in your thoughts. And if you ever have really great ideas for the Simpit, do not be shy. Email me, Shaun, SHAUN, @thesimpit.com. One more thing I'll say is, if you have emailed me and I have not emailed you back, I do answer every email that comes to me. If you did not get an email response within 1 week from me, then somehow I probably missed your email, and I would suggest you email it again, because I am very good about email. I do answer every email that comes to me. John Hill, we've been covering a little bit. The first 100 backers of the Feel VR have received their pedals. So we've seen and heard about the pedals and various reviews out there, and we know that they're functioning. We read a notice from Feel VR over the New Year's where they were asking those 100 people to give feedback so that they can continue to make improvements on future batches. No word on the wheel yet, but there is life from the company. So when people thought, scam or vaporware or anything else that you could accuse them of, no, they're very real, they're very around, and we're working on getting it. We've talked to them, and they've expressed that they want to get a pedal set to us, but I think they're just, trying to catch up with being quite delayed. I think that's their number one issue at this point. So anyway, be sure to catch the Sim Racing Rev Bar RPM gauge under $20 DIY project right here on Simpit YouTube. Excuse me. And again, since we have taken the diversion, as we move on to the next DIY project, this is going to be the routine. The routine will be Simpit Live is us on Twitch. If I'm doing a DIY project, we're doing it live. We're doing it live. Doing it live on Twitch. So you're going to need to be part of our Simpit Live on Twitch group or community, whatever you want to call it there. We will always film what we're doing. Chris S. just subscribed to us on YouTube. Thank you very much, Chris. Thank you. Have a great Friday. Have a great weekend. But yeah, and then what we'll do is we'll film it and we'll do an edited version that will come out on YouTube. I think that's the balance that we're going to do moving forward with that type of show. So you're definitely going to want to be part of both of our communities to watch it live. On the live, you get to see me blow it and blow things up and make mistakes all the time. Paul Victor, I don't know how you donate. The best way to donate, honestly, is to join our Simpit patron team. Go to patron.com/thesimpit and join us there, and then you get access to our Discord channel. You get, advance notice of racing that we're going to be doing, and be part of our endurance team, hang out with the guys, and always support the show, of course. So, do I need to show the Borat bikini? Is that news? Do I have to? To be fair, so if you look at the thumbnail right here, it's hard to see it, but there's more to the story of this facial expression here. I believe that was from, was that Wednesday's show? Was that Wednesday's show when I talked about the exotic racing? And if you haven't seen this, you got to check this out. I'm shocked that nobody's watched this. Only 500 people have even watched this video. But this video, and I'm sure all of you know it, but this came out also. Sim Racing Bucket List Exotic Racing. Oh, you know what? I got to fix this. Can I fix this? I'm not logged in. Shoot. All right. I got to remember to fix that. Thank you, Chris. Oh, you just watched the RPM DIY. We were just talking about it. Great to hear that you are liking what we do here. Thank you very much for subbing. And I was just telling you ought to check us out on Twitch as well, Simpit Live, because that's where we filmed all of that. Everything you watched in the video there on YouTube, we actually filmed live on Twitch. So anyway, okay, moving on with the real news, the outside of our news. That was all real news. So iRacing invited all of the, I'm not sure, was it the top 20 guys from the iRacing Peak Antifreeze series? They all went to North Carolina. That's where the NASCAR Hall of Fame is. And teams were making big press announcements. Super chat donation from Tom Jones, $2. Thank you. saying iRacing needs to raise their prices. Oh my God. Tom Jones, boom. Paul, I try to go live. I go live. We do a little pre and post show for the pit stop. So I'm usually here a little before and after, just saying hi. Sometimes we cover some other things. And then we do, if I'm racing, I'll usually be live on for practice. Oh, the dopamine. Anyway, okay, sorry. But yeah, I try to go live as much as I possibly can. We don't have any fixed schedule just yet, but it's something that I need to work on. Anyway, so here is the quad rolling deep in the Queen City. Is the Queen City Charlotte? I didn't know that was the name of that city. Maybe I got my towns wrong. I thought they were at NASCAR Hall of Fame. How many of these guys can I recognize? I should know more than I do. Oh, there's Brian Schoenberg. He lives right by me. And that's Ryan Lusa, all grown up. Look at Ryan Lusa. When he first started winning championships, he was a little boy. He is far from that anymore. Anyway, there's part of the gang hanging out together. Anyone want to take a guess how much iRating in this room? So right here, you have all of the best in iRacing. That's Otto from iRacing. That's Tony Gardner from iRacing. Not sure who this guy is. Anyway, they're giving a big speech to the guys, and again, the caption is, "Can you guess? Can you guess the iRating in this room?" Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's where they went. I thought they went to NASCAR Hall of Fame. Anyway, and then you have big announcements that all went on during this as well. Wood Brothers Racing saying that they've signed. Now, I actually kind of like. When am I driving live again, Paul? We are going to probably drive live tonight. So tonight I am thinking of doing something in the dirt. It might be the pro trucks. It might be outlaw sprint cars. It might be street stock dirt. But I'm thinking of doing something in the dirt tonight, and that would be 5 o'clock practice, 5:30 maybe if it's tournament mode, because they give you less time and the tracks get torn up. So it might be 5:30 practice, 6 o'clock racing. And I am right now between sprint cars and dirt trucks. Anyway, so the nice thing is when they say signed, I mean, does that mean these guys are now bidding? You know, in a draft, it's like, here's the draft. I don't know how they work the pay. If they are signing drivers, that means that those drivers are theoretically taking offers from other teams, meaning that they actually could make more money. There could be a bidding war for a top driver. Anyway, Wood Brothers making it official. They've signed Chris Overland and Garrett Lowe to drive their 2 Mustangs in next year's series. There you go. That all went on down there as well. Wood Brothers, another, here are the guys with their new team shirts. And dirt trucks. That's in a second vote for the trucks. The reason I like Rallycross, Heiko, is because we could actually do a scenario that's free in terms of if you're an iRacing member. That's one reason I do like the idea of doing Rallycross. But I'd like to do the trucks again. And we've had 2 votes for the trucks. By the end of the show, we're going to know what we're running tonight. We're going to start practice at 5:30 in one room, and then we're going to switch to a new room that will have 15 minutes of practice, and then our qualifiers and all that kind of stuff. We'll do format. I'd like to get a good crowd, but you never know. Devin, what did I miss? Can you hit me with some exclamation marks and do it again? Media Day, Burton Kligerman eSport talking about Media Day. You've got the Richmond Raceway eSport guys here at NASCAR Productions. You've got Movie Magic, Media Day for the eNASCAR drivers. This is all one giant event with a bunch of little team stuff going on behind the scenes. What do we know so far after a couple of hours at eNASCAR iRacing World Championship Series Media Days? Here are the teams announced via, so Garrett Lowe, Chris Overland with Wood Brothers, Michael Gariglia, and Eric Smith for Jim Beaver Motorsports, Jimmy Mullis and Zach Novak for Richmond eSports, and Matt Busa and Ryan Lusa, not brothers, for Williams eSport teams. Those are the signings that all went on during all of this. Thank you, Chris. Thank you for that. Yes, everybody, be sure to like this show if you enjoy what we're doing. And if you don't, I'm sorry, and hit the thumbs down, I guess. That's okay. Tell me why, though. If you don't like it, tell me why. That would be the best thing you could possibly do. Oh, Devin. Devin, so is that a second vote? Do we now have 2 votes for Rallycross, and we have 2 votes for dirt trucks? No questions, huh? Then we have behind the scenes at the media day and a few cool pictures. You know, how cool would it be? There's the round table of talent. How much iRating at this table? That was probably a lesson in how to be a good spokesman. That would be my guess. How cool would it be to have this going on in your life? If you were so good that you were in that top 20 and you were invited to this event, you got professional photographers, professional videographers. I mean, it's not just the profession of the guys behind the lenses, but look at these sets. These guys are going to have some cool pictures and cool memories of being a superstar of sim racing. That's the story here. Yeah, it's cool pictures. We're seeing this, but can you imagine? I mean, I can't. Here's William Byron, excited to announce that Nick Ottinger and John Gerlinski will be part of our team at William Byron eSport for 2020. More driver announcements. Awesome. More media day. That's Jay Mullis Racing, Sith Lord. Yeah, with the red and the fog and all that. It's going down in real life between the best of the best in NASCAR iRacing World Championships. GoPro. Oh, they're at GoPro Motorplex. Isn't that in Charlotte? Isn't GoPro Motorplex in Charlotte? Help me. Help you. Yeah, anyway, I saw this, and that's Michael Conti. We already saw that picture. Awesome. More money. So what happens when we put 30 of the iRacing NASCAR in go-karts at GoPro? We're about to find out. Anyway, so you can see the whole iRacing crew. Man, that is a nice karting facility. I've never seen that. Where is GoPro? You guys going to make me click? You going to make me click? I'll go back and click. Also, not to be forgotten, and, you know, I guess, has this officially replaced the Roar before the 24? Is the Roar before the 24 no longer, and now it's the BMW 120? Anyway, that is going on Sunday. Anyone and everyone could participate in it. Mooresville. Isn't Mooresville essentially North Carolina? I mean, Charlotte. Mooresville is where, like, all the shops are. Charlotte is the track in the next city over. Yeah, so it's Charlotte. Yeah, it's I don't know. I don't think there's a Roar before. BMW, Chili Bowl, and then a heck of a lot of fun at Media Day. Here's a whole picture of the gang. Anyway, that's badass. That's awesome. Notice, iRacing / NASCAR flew all of these dudes there. These guys didn't go there on their own dimes. It wasn't like, hey, we'd like you to come, and everybody showed up. This was an invite. This was a privilege. This was a pat on the back for being one of the best in one of the hardest sims there is to be the best in my opinion. Anyway, one thing I did, and we already found out we're GoPro. So yeah, we're all done with that. Anyway, I thought that was really, really cool story and worth kind of taking some time to go into. Dirt Rally World Series Grand Finals are only 2 days away. So there's a whole write-up here. Dirt Rally 2.0 World Series Grand Finals. Watch live January 12th. So put it in your calendars. You want something to watch. I'm assuming if you're here, you're not there. So you're going to want to watch the grand finals. Best of the best in Dirt Rally, the next level, next esport series out there, at least pro level series. I think there is good money on the line, by the way. I don't think this is just, hey, fun and games. This is the real deal. So, what else? Grid. Public Lobbies will now be open on January 13th. Session search comes to Grid next Monday in a free update, allowing players to find and enter race lobbies made by other players. That means that we could actually do our own controlled Grid sessions. That could be something we need to look into. Talk about a Monday fun day. Tom, was it you and I talking Monday fun day just today? Yesterday? Again, if anything in the chat is for me, I see a lot of really cool chat going on. If there's any questions you have of me, be sure to type in some question marks. If you have any statements you need me to be aware of, hit me with some exclamation marks. And if there's anything you ever think we can do better with the show, the whole general Simpit concept, be sure to email me at Shaun, SHAUN, @simpit.com. Follow us on Twitch at Simpit Live. If you ever want to see any of these DIY projects, like I said, we did a DIY, well, that's not it. We did a DIY project, LED project. We filmed the whole thing live. We weren't rowing. Anyway, there, my promo's over. Shut up, Shaun. Move on with the show. All right, Codies Racing Line, January 9th, 2020. I haven't checked this one out. Talking about Dirt Rally and talking about the World Championships. Talking about Grid, probably talking about the Public Lobbies. Talking about the giveaway for Grid and the Alonso signed Kamoa hat. Did any of you go do that? I tried, but I wasn't logged in, so I couldn't retweet, and I couldn't figure out how to retweet. Did anybody out there follow my advice and go enter that contest? Why the heck not? I'd like a free Ultimate Edition. Talking about F1 2019, and I don't think there's much to... Oh, they talked about the China. Sorry, Codies, but we've covered all of this already. I guess it is kind of a recap of everything, but we did cover it all. What else? So there's this Autosport Show that a few of our guys talked about, and a lot of things, a lot of news. If there's ever a year to go to Autosport Show, which I'm assuming that's some sort of a car automotive trade show, Le Mans eSport was there with the AM competition with the top 3 times who are going to win a trip to the 2020 24 Hours of Le Mans and a share of $50,000. What? So David Grunnell, you could have gone there and been a top 3 and had a trip to the 2020 and a share of $50,000? Are you kidding me? Anyway, that was going on there. They have a little video. Can we see the name? I can't see it. Oh. I can't read that. Can you guys? Can you guys hear him?
Their opportunity to try and book a ticket to the super final. So I think it's great for me personally to see that how inclusive it is for anyone who's here can fight in the final if they're good enough to get through. I mean, it's difficult at the best of times, let alone in front of everyone here in this kind of arena, surrounded by race cars all around us. It's a lot of pressure. It's one of those where anyone who's here over the 4 days gets their opportunity to try and book a ticket to the super final. So I think it's great for me personally to see that
book a ticket to the super final for your share of $50,000.
If they're good enough to get through. I mean, it's difficult at the best of times, let alone in front of everyone here in this kind of arena, surrounded by race cars all around us. It's a lot of pressure for them to deal with, but the best will come out and we'll see them in the super final.
Well, if you're going to be here this weekend, hall number 1, you're not going to miss us because that big screen is over there. Come along. If you finish in the top 3, it's completely free to take part. If you're in the top 3 at the end of the weekend, we're going to see you racing at the Le Mans 24-hour this year.
There you go. So that going on at that Autosport, that being in conjunction Thrustmaster with Le Mans eSports Series. What else? Thrustmaster headlining partner for Dirt World Finals. So when we looked at the World Finals and we look at their sponsors, you can see Thrustmaster, Playseat, Motorsport Network, and Codemasters being the primary sponsors of that event, which is kicking off again on the 12th. Hearing is a thing now. Oh, I want to turn that off so we don't get more Windows audio by accident. So, all right, low volume. You skipped this year. I know, Dave. I know. Oh, check this out. So, Sage Karam posted this on Facebook. And this is a video of, here's the post. This is Sage Karam. And many of us have raced against Sage Karam. If you run in the Lionheart Racing Series, you've probably raced with Sage Karam, real-life IndyCar driver and other things, but known for his IndyCar racing, perhaps. Love how iRacing can help me prepare for an upcoming test. So that's good news. I mean, Sage Karam has a test coming in IndyCar. IndyCar at Sebring Modified. Looking forward to some real-life laps, but this is pretty damn close to the real deal. And let's check out Sage Karam as he does some Sebring. And bear with me. I'm going to look at something really quickly. Oh, I want to thank Tyson Landis, by the way. Tyson Landis is who sent that in, just so you know. Thank you, Tyson. There you go. There's one of the best. You know, this guy's one of the best sim racers as well, by the way. Anyway, whoops, I could have blown that up for you. And let's see. There was someone made a comment. Oh, I'm sorry, I missed something. Hearing. Oh, Dragon Model. Is anyone watching the Dakar Rally 2020? Great question. I don't know. I have not seen it at all. I did see a post, and it actually made me think that's awesome. It was a shot of Alonso fixing or changing a tire on his car. And I just thought, man, that is so not an F1 driver of today. But, man, if you're a real racer, maybe you get to that level of Formula One where everybody's, wiping your hands for you, so to speak. But you think those guys ever miss it? I bet they do. I mean, for me, part of racing is touching the cars. Part of the racing is being intimate with that car. Don't get me wrong on that. Yeah, I wonder if they ever feel a little removed from something that they love so much. Or, it's got to be a pleasure to be catered to in that level. But at the same time, I bet you Alonso was loving getting out and have to work on the car himself and be that guy once again. Or be that guy in general. Anyway, all right. Another great, check this out. This is the Porsche Racing Simulator. We were just the other day, on Wednesday or Monday's show, we were discussing, arguing is a bad word. We were discussing VR versus true wraparound screen. Anyway, look at the size of this screen. I can't count. I think that's 5 projectors. I didn't read up on it, but this picture, total Cruden. I call this the Cruden design. It's really the 6 degree of freedom design, because I've seen that type of a thing in a small platform. They make a variation of that type of platform small enough to put any rig on. This is obviously the giant. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a Cruden, because it looks like a Cruden sim. That's what they're kind of known for, is those big elaborate sims. But anyway, we just the other day were showing off sims of a few other teams and companies, and we've seen a few different things. Some of them do that 2-axis plotter. It's 2-axis, just like a 3D printer. Well, at least 2-axis of the 3. And instead of an up and down axis, they have a yaw. We've seen a lot of those designs. Then you've got this one. Well, this one's going to have heave, the ability to go up and down, as well as tilting action that the plotter type ones don't have that ability. So it is a very elaborate sim. From my personal experience, the Cruden, now, when a sim company goes to a trade show, they go and they usually put the motion to a ridiculous level. I think that if I were to get a Cruden and tune it down, I'd probably be a lot happier with it. But Well, yeah, you're right, John. Even if it's bigger than that, it would still, yeah. Good point. Good point. My other thing is, at some point when you get gigantic, like I'm just looking at the driver and where the wheels are on the screen. At some point, isn't the scale just completely out of whack? That's obviously bigger than a real life car from what it looks like. I mean, there's no car with wheels that far apart. Another thing to note from the picture, so does that not look like an open wheel, not only cockpit on the simulator, but doesn't that also look like a open cockpit sim? Porsche. Dun, 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 dun. Anyway, I did read an article a couple weeks ago about how close Porsche really got to Formula One. Anyway, okay, moving along. Formula E, Pelican! You are the man. That is right. Formula E. Good point. That even looked like a Formula E track, didn't it? Okay. So this is something that came up from CES, I believe. Yeah, CES 2020. The Arcadio gaming chair has 10 customizable zones of haptic feedback. Anyway, this is a chair. Now, obviously, it's a gaming chair. And, I've used the G seat, which was really cool experience. Formula E! But then isn't it too far away? I mean, your eyes aren't that stupid. you know? It says Formula E under the title? That would be very typical. Yeah. There you go. All you have to do is read sometimes. Read the MFI. Okay. But I just looked at the sim. That's all I cared about. Anyway, this haptic chair. So this would give you... Haptic is usually vibration. Yeah, so physical vibration. 16-core multiprocessor that multi-channel audio and turns it into physical vibrations. So it's an audio-based vibration chair, which could be cool if done right. I played with so many variations of this over the last 15 years, to be honest with you. Far from a new idea. Ooh, look, phone integration. Oh, volume controls in your phone. That's kind of cool. You got to know, I would imagine that if you were doing regular gaming, like a shooter game, that would be really, really cool. Adrian Stealth, that was our conversation on Wednesday or Monday, was what's better? Instructions is the way I learned that one, John. Yeah, is VR just better than that? So, Classy Cut subscribing to us on YouTube. Thank you very much, Classy. All right, haptic chair. Very cool. Cool story. GTR 24-hour posted this. Introducing E-Team Brit, the all-disabled driver sim racing team. And so I just, cool article from those guys talking about these guys, that being E-Team Brit. And that's one of the things that I've always loved about sim racing, is that sim racing, it's really easy to make a wheel with all the controls on it. And really good, really well done. Yeah, Theodore, yes, and we're gonna have to conquer that here, aren't we? We're gonna have to do our own haptic sim chair coming up. That's going to be another DIY that we're going to have to add to the list. We're going to go nutso with SimHub, by the way. Ever since I really got into SimHub and realized how easy certain things were to do, it was like, oh, I'm going to do one of those, two of those, I'll have one of those. That one looks good on you. Anyway, but yeah, disabled racing team, awesome. And they're going to compete in the Le Mans 24-hour race and the Brit Car Championship at the GT4 level this coming year. So congratulations to those guys. And again, one of my favorite things about sim racing is that it is so accessible to everybody, including disabled people, and being able to create controls. It's just a matter of how bad do you want to do it. But I've watched Sam Schmidt race with a blow tube and head tracking. So it can totally be done by anybody and at any level in the case of the Team Brit eSport racing team. A couple of deals for you guys to know about on sale for 13 days is Dirt Rally, only $8 for the OG Dirt Rally. Also, Dirt 4 is on sale for $12, also for 13 more days. So that's not a bad pickup when you consider it was a $60 title. If you never got Dirt 4, I can guarantee you that it is worth $12. You will get more than enough fun out of that game for $12. If you haven't tried it, you should now. Zwift Insider, I'm sure a lot of you have heard about the bushfires in Australia. The AHDR Australian Bushfire Zwiftathon begins today. Look at the size of this peloton. Anybody who knows cycling knows that is a lot of people in that peloton. Chris Phillips with a $20 donation. Chris, thank you. Thank you for the dopamine and pizza. We're going to end that joke this week, I think. We can't just keep doing it. Awesome. I will definitely eat pizza tonight on you, Chris. Thank you so much, buddy. Anyway, this is the Aussie. AHDR began as the Aussie Hump Day ride and quickly grew to be the most popular weekly ride on Zwift. In my opinion, I'm still going to say it, proclaim it, the ultimate sim. There is no more real sim than Zwift. How much was my setup? My racing setup? How much is it? 125, 35, 55. I'm probably at about $8,500, but that's for a state-of-the-art computer, triple screens at 120 or higher refresh rate, a direct drive wheel, hydraulic pedals, and a Ricmotech S1 chassis, which is a expensive but wonderful chassis. So yeah, I'm probably at about $8,000, $8,500 would be my guess. Anyway, this is a charity version of their Wednesday ride they're going to be doing to raise money for, and that's awesome. And I'm a big fan of Zwift. I swear, if I won the lottery, if I had money, I'd buy myself a badass version of the Zwift to be able to get in shape before I try to take my fat ass out on the road. It'd be fun. It'd be fun to compete in a computerized version of the game, watching some TV in the background at the same time. Yes, Topper's Pizza. Yes, that's exactly... that's exactly what's on the agenda tonight. My brother will be thrilled when I tell him as well. It was bikes. Tour de Zwift 2020 Pro-Am Invitational Race Series details. So again, this Zwift, but you got to ride the bike. It's not playing with your controllers. You're welcome, Paul. This isn't playing with your controller. This isn't playing with a steering wheel. This is riding a bike and using the power of your legs to win or lose a race. Can you imagine if we had to sit on a bike to make our sim cars go, and how much that would change racing? Do you think Grunnell would still be the fast guy in our group? All right. So that's a invitational race going on. Multi-stage, too. Look at that. 7 stages. It's getting serious over there in the Ultimate Sim. Monster Energy Supercross, the official video game 3 preview. So there's a preview of that out there to be seen. This is the preview from them. This kind of gets to what I'm talking about. This isn't a review. This is a movie made by their media people to promo the game. Anyway, that would be a fun one to get when the price drops. I'm not going to pay full fare for that. Let me just make this straight. I mean, when I talk about Dirt 4 for $12, that's a buy. Full price on this game, you know what? I'm going to wait for it to drop. Or if I didn't buy last year's version, maybe now is the time. So there you go. Awesome, Stuart. I'm sure we'll see every nut and bolt. I'm not... SRG... Still, I think Sim Racing Girl, and I don't mean any. I'm assuming you mean Barry Rollins, Sim Racing Garage. You never brake on the bikes. Remember we talked about Fast and the Furious. Bandai Namco has shared some new screenshots from the upcoming Fast and the Furious game, Fast and the Furious Crossroads. You can play as Vin Diesel, I believe. I think we covered that. Oh, there's a nice let's not pay licensing vehicle. Now, I'm sure they had to pay Ford for that. That looks like the Ken Block one. Camaro. Come on. Ooh, we got machine guns. Is that machine guns? Or oh, no. No, that's a harpoon launcher on the roof of the Mustang, if I'm not mistaken. We're going to harpoon the Jeep. What's that on top of the... Oh, the 70. You know, the 70s Camaro, a little confession. I was always a 60s Camaro guy in terms of my love of Camaros. And I'm just going to say this. The new Camaro, being so reminiscent and so different, actually kind of took the old original one down a notch. And now I find myself looking at the 71, I think it's the 71 split bumper, and I'm like, the Z28 71 split bumper might be my ultimate favorite of all Camaros at this point. That's not a 71. I believe that's like a 73 or something. But anyway, Fast and Furious. Fast and the Furious. You're going to be able to play that. There's a game that I'm not going to pay full fare for, but I might pick it up later when it drops. Is that true? Are you lying, Tom? Fun fact, Vin Diesel's real name is Charlie Dunkel. Really? That is a effed up name. It's an RPG. Road Warrior. Yes, it looks very Road Warrior. I would have preferred a harpoon. All right. F1 wants to use eSport racers to trial new sporting regulations. What? All right. So I remember years ago, F1, I can't remember if it was pit stops or tire, but couple years ago, maybe 4 years ago, F1 was using a simulator in order to... Yeah, I did. Tom, I think that was like a 78, 79 Z28, I think, by the time you got that hood and the stripes. Might even be later than that. I can't remember when they switched to the 80s Camaro. All right, I'm not suckering for any more real names. We're done with that one. Fool me once. Mark Sinclair. Now, thank you, Robert. Thank you very much. You guys are killing me. I love Fridays. TGIF. Happy Friday, everybody out there. Anyway, many moons ago, Formula One actually did use sims to test, I believe it was pit stops or tire something. And I think they used R Factor Pro. I'm closing my eyes to look into my memory in case you don't know what's going on. And we will, and they used it to test scenarios and see how it play out. And think about it, because in a sim, you can do it over and over and over, and you can make little tweaks and do it over and over and over. And sure, it's not one-to-one, but when you look at the sim racing competitions that go on, it is close to one-to-one. You watch the racing, when it's done right, it plays out like real life in its own way. Anyway, F1 wants to use the eSports racers to trial new sporting regulations. This also goes back to the other thing that I was saying. Will F1's... There might have been a Mark Sinclair already. Screen Actors Guild does not allow there to be two names. So and that sounds like the kind of name that would have been a entertainer from the past, perhaps. Anyway, how I wonder if this will have an impact on the way they do the competition. So is F1 now going to start regulating the esport competition instead of just being a sponsor, so to speak? Anyway, Forza Horizon 4. This week in Forza Horizon 4, GT Planet is giving you 197 reasons to enjoy spring. I don't know how you can get 197 out of that length of an article. Is there a car named the 197? Bum, 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 bum. My real name is Cecil Winklebottom the third. The third. Don't leave out the third. I will be quite offended. But what I'm working on is becoming Dr. Cecil Winklebottom the third. Anyway, 197 reasons to play spring version of Forza Horizon 4. You can check that out at GT Planet. GT Planet also talking about Gran Turismo 2020 World Tour to launch in Sydney, Australia, February 14th through 16th. So the next round, and this is the first time ever the World Tour is going to go to Australia. You know, think about that. All these World Tour guys are getting flown all over the world the way Gran Turismo is doing this, which is pretty badass, pretty cool. Oh, you picked up the Fox Body Stang. I had a Fox Body Stang. Banana phone. Cleo197, thank you, Izzy. Thank you, Izzy. See, I don't have time to read every single word, and I figure there's only room for one doctor here. Santiago, that's fun to say. World Tour heading to GT Australia. This is an interesting thing. So also at GT Planet, GT Sport is a completely different experience with the PS5 controller. Now, you would have thought that I'd have read the article, but I haven't read it. So let's try to figure out if we can figure out why they say the lines up, hands-on premium, specifically that both the track and dirt, they could feel the track and dirt surfaces translated through the PS5 controller. When going back to the DualShock 4, that sensation disappeared entirely. The adaptive triggers can, in theory, give players an experience similar to that of using a wheel without the expense and space requirements. So, are we expecting the best version of Gran Turismo ever when we get to the PS5? Is that what we're talking about? They're also suggesting, given PS5's backward compatibility and cross-generational play, this could suggest a PS5 enhanced version of the game. Talking about GT Sport, maybe as a platform launch title, able to play with the existing 8 million user base on the PS4. So, what they're teasing, and, you know, this is a tease, speculation even, would there be a GT Sport at launch with the PS5 utilizing the new controllers but maintaining backward compatibility so that when you play GT Sport on the PS5, you're still able to play against all of the PS4 players? That could be cool. That could be cool for sure. Yes, Robert, I think that's what we're talking about. Okay, and then they go on to say the console's a perfect price point. What else? Race Room, the first list of multiplayer rankings is available. So, rankings. You know, rankings is one of the things that has been the backbone of making iRacing so awesome. The rankings have allowed massive amounts of players to be separated into groups based on their skill levels to race against other people of the same level. SRS, Sim Racing Systems, has been a game changer as far as Assetto Corsa and Race Room, funny enough, and allowing people to get rankings so that when you have leagues or groups racing beyond one grid, it can separate them amongst talent levels. Rankings is the future of what we're doing here in a multiplayer version. You know, sim racing in its original roots was very single player. Yes, we had leagues that we could join, but it was like joining through IP and, you know, going through all these workaround type things. It wasn't quite like it is today where we just have awesome racing everywhere. But the top 1,000 racers will be available soon. As of now, what have they ranked? It says top 1,000 soon. Already with the December update, some servers had appeared in the multi-sector bearing the words RR, ranked, and many wondered what it meant. Sector 3 in the past had already announced its intention to want to add elements that would recall an online career with a schedule of classified races. The first step towards this goal was to make classified servers available, and now the relative ratings, ranked, are also in the public domain. What does it mean? That all your online career will be visible to everyone. All players' actions will be monitored and recorded in the reputation score of the profile page. Intentional accidents will lead to a ban from classified servers, and in severe cases, to complete ban from the whole game. At the moment, only a list of the 1,000 best players is available, but soon a complete list of players with some tools will arrive. Anyone want to guess? Yeah, it sounds very much in beta, Billy. Yes, absolutely, I agree. It sounds like they're just kind of rolling it out right now, and 1,000 players isn't that many on a ranking system. But anyone want to guess? I haven't looked at the list. Maybe one of you have. I'm going to guess Jack Keatley's got to be, if not one, he's got to be in the top 3 for sure, I would think. If anyone want to fact check that, no. New wheel. You know, I'll tell you, I love my Xperience Accuforce wheel, but one thing I do not or never liked was the rim that came with it. It had that red stitching. It looked okay. It felt okay, but it just was definitely, of all of how great everything else was on the wheel rim, it just didn't feel awesome. And I changed mine out to a different cheap rim that is hardly any better. But here's a new wheel rim, a Formula wheel option. People make fun of me for my giant wheel when I'm in a Formula car. We have that F3 series coming. I should probably look at getting one of these for my Accuforce. But that is now officially from Accuforce for, from Sim Xperience for Accuforce owners or other people. Is it a standard? Yeah. Fits any 70mm M5 hub adapter with quick release. What do they want? It's only $80, so it's not an expensive wheel rim by any means. Thank you, Devin. All right, what else? We've talked about the Sim Magic. I want to thank Devin. He reached out to them on behalf of the Simpit, so hopefully we'll get one of these wheels for review. Sim Magic, that is that Chinese direct drive wheel that is coming out. I've seen one review, but it seems like maybe that guy has an affiliation just because he got it like as soon as it existed. But the Sim Magic, and I could be wrong about that. That doesn't matter. The main thing is we have pricing. This is European pricing, so Sim Magic M10 DDW direct drive wheel base on its own will be 551 British pounds, and Sim Magic M10 with the steering wheel will be 785. So what is that? $234. $234 for the wheel rim itself. Looks like it's got shifters and buttons. Actually looks very similar to my Accuforce across the board, actually, now that I'm looking at it. So anyway, pounds. They're not, that's pounds, right? That is pounds, not euro. Correct? That's why I said, did I say European? I meant British. I meant British. I don't know. Let's do a quick conversion. 551 pounds. Oh, to ounces. 719. So it's just a little... Oh, no, that is a little bit more, isn't it? I'm not looking at Sim Xperience pricing right now. British pounds. I did... Oh, so I got it right in terms of when I said... I think I said European pricing, and then I listed as British pounds when I said it. Oh, sim rig time. We're getting to the end of the show. Only an hour in, you know. All right. This one here is by Anak Kron, and we're looking at his setup. 3 curved monitors. That can't be 3. Is that 3 curved 49s? Is this our first sighting of 3 curved 49-inch monitors? Anyway, it looks a little weird. I mean, like, getting in and out of the rig actually looks difficult. It's so large. Notice the side monitor stands look like they're on rollers of some sort, which is kind of interesting. Monitor overload. Anyway, looks like a Thrustmaster T500. I see those fixed static paddles, the inverted pedals, and not a bad looking. He could probably start upgrading the rig now that he has those monitors. That is crazy. RS Hero, wish we had more American solutions for hardware. The shipping cost for a monitor stand from SimLabs just killed me. Yeah, shipping overseas on something heavy is from a small manufacturer is outrageous. What they need to do in terms of the SimLabs is they need to get North American distribution so that they could send a whole, boatload over and then save a lot on shipping. But with that stuff being so heavy, it's going to be 1 flat and 2 curved. Perhaps it could just be an illusion. They haven't moved the island. Is that what you're saying, Sonic? All right, what else? Another rig to check out. Now, this one, I don't know if this is real. Lasagna enemies posted T-Pain, a real one. Supposedly T-Pain, the rap guy, hip-hop, I don't know, posted this with his sim rig with the Hennessy sticker and a Red Bull fridge. Remember, just yesterday, or on Wednesday's show, I was talking about a Red Bull fridge, and I said that one computer case looks like a Red Bull fridge. Anyway, that is a Red Bull fridge, and his... Wow, that looks like a Ren Sport cockpit with the back half removed. That almost looks like a Ren Sport Fanatic cockpit. Not 100% sure. But anyway, T-Pain seat time in the AC. Get you one, bro. Saves a ton on tires. Anyway, I didn't know T-Pain was a sim racer. Don't even know if that's really him. And then here, rate my setup. This post by William B. Rate my setup. Wanted to test out a 65-inch up close. I actually like it. Might be a little high. If you want my opinion, it might be a little high. But what I like, check out this guy. Look at his rig. This is a very interesting sim rig. It is a sawhorse holding up the monitor stand, for a monitor stand. He has got a total DIY wood platform to hold his play seat, which is he has turned into his garage seat on essentially a really nicely done, elaborate Deathmobile. I thought this was a really cool rig. I'm going to give this guy a big high five or big kudos on a really nice rig. I like what you've done. My question on that 65, of course, would probably be refresh rate would be my biggest problem. John Cheel, big TVs with good refresh rates are fine by me, but getting a good refresh rate on a big TV is very, very expensive. You can pick up like 327s for a pretty reasonable price, and I've always been pretty happy with that size. Bang for the buck, it's hard to beat 3 triples without going to VR, but VR is still not for everybody. So I think that's it. I think that's the end of today's show. I'm gonna selfishly promote one more time. The Simp It De Lara F3 series kicks off this Sunday. Sunday, 1 o'clock will be practice, 2 o'clock qualifying, 2:10, 2:15 will be the race time. We will be at Road America for 22 laps of racing, and it is going to be fun. This is a great car. It will be open setups, but the guys have been really generous. We've done practice. We'll probably do a practice. I should have done a practice for this. By next week, we'll get practice races, but you can go practice with everybody on iRacing because iRacing's De Lara F3 Series is at Road America right now. You can go get a setup from the open world there, refine your own, but most importantly, come race with us. So all you have to do is go to the league section on iRacing, do a search for the Simpit De Lara F3 Series, and try to join that. I will accept people into that league all the way up to the beginning of practice time at 1 o'clock. That's p.m. 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for practice, 2 o'clock for qualifying. So please join us for that. It should be a lot of fun. We have at least 20 people signed up. Hopefully we'll get that number over 30 for some best racing. Also, if you would like to race with us, I think the vote was 2-2. 2-2. I think we're going to have to go with rally cars, and it's going to be rally cars because I can create a scenario that is free. There's a free rally car in iRacing, and there are free tracks. We ran Daytona last time. I think Phoenix is the other free track. So tonight, it's going to be rally cars at Phoenix. If we get enough people, we'll do heat racing. I'm going to set it up for heat racing, but if there's not enough people, it won't do it that way. I'm going to set up a practice room that will start at 5 o'clock. I probably won't even get in there until about 5:30 myself. I'll get live on Twitch at about 5:30. We'll try to go live on YouTube at about 6 o'clock, and I'd love to see all of you out there with us. This room will be on iRacing hosted section, and the password is going to be, are you ready for it? Simpit 2020. Simpit 2020. And we'll be there in the rally car at Phoenix, I believe it is. Come join us. 5 o'clock for practice. 5:30, I'll be there. 6 o'clock is when we'll switch to our other practice room. So that is going to do it for today. Happy Friday, everybody. Man, what another great show. You guys carrying the conversation for me, keeping me on my facts, and filling in the blanks on those things that I don't know about. Anyway, get out there, do some racing, have yourselves a great weekend, and we will be back with a new pit stop on Monday. Be sure to check us out, of course, at Simpit Live on Twitch as well. That's going to do it for today. This is the Simpit. I'm Shaun Cole, and I'll see you on the track.